till 10 o'clock. We've got a busy show ahead. We were down in Galway last night. Will Greenwood.
How was that?
I wasn't there, but I've heard it was excellent. We should get him back, was the first words I heard out of Joe Malloy's mouth when he returned to studio.
Absolutely.
And he doesn't say that often. No offence, previous guests who he hasn't wanted back, but very impressed with Will
Can we
Greenwood.
name names?
Not right now. Maybe later. Let's see how the evening goes. Brian O'Driscoll was down there. Andy Friend, Tiernan O'Halloran. That's all coming away from 7:30. John Giles will be on the football show from 9 o'clock. And also, the Dublin footballers. This is the night. Richie, Jim Gavin's successor is expected to be announced. We thought at 7 o'clock, but then the reports were maybe the meeting was only starting at 7 o'clock.
Well, judging by our own Shane Hannon's travails in getting to Parnell Park tonight, it seems that many people might be delayed in getting out there.
Well, who could have predicted that the Monaghan man who left the office here behind Stephen's Green at 6:20 couldn't get to Parnell Park by 7 o'clock?
Stop giving away details of our location. Snipers.
Shocking development. Shane will be there at some stage. And when he gets there, we'll tell you who the new manager is. Not before, though, even if we do see it online. It's going to be Desi, isn't it? It's going to be Desi.
I have a feeling in my waters. Some strong candidates, though, to be fair. A lot of people who could feel rightly aggrieved in not getting the gig.
Is it a good gig?
I don't know. Yeah, like, obviously the answer is, like, yes, you're in charge of the All-Ireland champions.
Yes, and you're probably, if you get 4 years out of it, you're probably going to win 3 All-Irelands.
But
minimum.
You have a hell of a wall to go up against, and that is what you've just clambered over. It's the 5 in a row. How do you do better than that?
6 in a row. And then you see you wouldn't even get the credit because you know, if they won 6 in a row after the 5 in a row, that'd be 11 in a row. And Brian Fenton have 11 All-Irelands in a row, and nobody would be talking about the manager. The manager's going to get less and less credit now. So Gavin has got peak credit.
Right.
From now on, it'll be all about the players, and the manager just needs to keep it ticking along. All he can do is lose. So if you screw this up, God help you.
So you're saying there's no point in the Dublin manager's job?
No.
Is that what you're saying tonight?
I think they'd be better off managerless.
Mayo man Nathan Murphy says there's no point in being Dublin football manager.
And listen, if the Dublin County Board need one thing, it's advice on administration from a Mayo man right now.
Clearly, they know a thing or two. Well, they've been involved in more administerial talks, so they might have a better know-how.
53106 is the text number, @OffTheBall on Twitter. What are we starting with?
The FAI, they say they've identified their preferred candidate for the role of the independent chairperson of the organisation. From a shortlist of 3, the news comes in a letter from FAI CEO Ria Walsh to the Department of Transport, Tourism and Sport that's been seen by Off the Ball. The identities of those on the shortlist remain unknown.
Any suggestion as to when we may find out?
No.
Okay.
Senator Aodhán Ó Ríordáin believes a plan to split the FAI in 2, meanwhile, will have cross-party support. The government is to consider proposals to split the beleaguered organisation in 2, which would see funding for vital initiatives safeguarded. A number of prominent football figures, including Niall Quinn and Brian Kerr, are believed to be part of discussions around the establishment of a separate body that would be supported by the state to the tune of €10 million per annum to support grassroots, community and development funding. Speaking to Off the Ball, Senator Ó Ríordáin stated his belief that such a move will be welcomed across the political spectrum.
I think what we want to achieve here is, look, it's easy for people in opposition to criticise ministers for not doing enough, etc., etc. But I think a lot of Irish people are tired of that sort of scenario. They want to look at people in public life and people in politics to come up with solutions. And while the Oireachtas Committee will do what it does, it'll question the FAI board and it'll question various different people to try and find out reasons for what happened. I think it's important that people will also step up and say, look, here's what could happen to save the situation, to save football and to make things better in the long term. So I want to work with Minister Ross. I want to work with anybody with a football mind in Leinster House who cares enough about the game to invest in it. You know, if you look at the controversy that the greyhound industry had, they got 16 million in the budget. Horse Racing Ireland gets about between a guaranteed 55 million a year that sometimes reaches 80 million a year. If you look at what the Dublin County Board managed to achieve 20 years ago to get a guaranteed ring-fence funding for youth development of Gaelic games in Dublin. So that's the kind of thing that can happen when politics steps up. The problem with football in Ireland, it has been a game which, as I say, it hasn't been politically powerful. It's played in areas that aren't politically powerful by people, I might suggest, who aren't as politically powerful as others. So I think we have to recognise that, recognise the power of the game, recognise how important it is, and come up with solutions to the situation we find ourselves in. Welsh FA did something very similar. And I think if we have imaginative solutions to the problem, then we can actually get somewhere.
I guess anything that ring fences funding for grassroots, everybody's going to welcome, particularly considering the current state of the FAI, where you'd imagine there's massive cuts coming. for grassroots and potentially for coaches involved in grassroots. It would mean that the elite level would deal directly with sponsors, and would the elite level then contribute to the grassroots? If everything goes well, and for the next 20 years, will the elite level be focused on paying off the FAI's debt?
The nuts and bolts of it still has to be to be earned out, and you'd imagine it's going to take until they have the new formation of an FAI board for any of this to get any further than simply the idea stage or floating it in front of TDs and
Where's the League of Ireland in all this?
That's a decent question as well. There is a kernel of a really good point from Senator Reardon there, which is when you look at the money given to the likes of the Irish Greyhound Boards and Horse Racing Ireland, etc., you have to ask yourself what is actually more valuable and what has a bigger stake in Irish life than the highest participation sport in the country.
Well, he also touched on the other point, obviously, which is that politically football has never been well represented, whereas both horse racing and greyhound racing have wonderful lobby groups, and also, maybe smartly, went down the route of going down the more agricultural route,
well,
and therefore get their funding through that. Now, maybe you could link grassroots sports in with the health budget.
Yeah, absolutely could.
Which, I know it's obviously clearly very stretched, but maybe that's where you can tap into some potential monies. But there's no question that football deserves, at the very least, 10 million in state funding. But the problem is it's been a working class game. It has always had issues in terms of trying to drag money out of government. There's never been any great rush. It's not at times that glamorous lower down.
And even the public reception of that, as soon as you mention public funding, you're going to have people going, well, why? There's the health budget clearly needs more taken care of than a sporting organisation should do, and should we not sort that out first? The housing issue is something that needs funding. But it's not anytime any of these cases get talked about, it's not a case of one suffers because of the other. Everything can be looked after here with the right budgeting and the right kind of know-how and certain planning.
Yeah, it's a good conversation. It's definitely well worth happening. It doesn't address the FAI's €55 million debt necessarily.
I'd completely forgotten about that.
Who is going to go and pay that off? But obviously it's a conversation that's going to happen over the next little while, and probably a realisation that grassroots are going to suffer so much because of that debt. They need to somehow find a way of separating that from what caused it.
That knot's going to be a long time being untangled. Yeah.
Live football this evening?
There is indeed in Group F of the Europa League. It's currently Standard Liège 1, Arsenal 0. A deflected goal giving Standard the lead, and elsewhere it's Eintracht Frankfurt 2, Vitoria Guimarães 1. As things stand, Frankfurt going through as group winners with Arsenal in second. Celtic already secured of top billing in Group E. They trail Cluj by 1-0 in Romania at the moment. Elsewhere in that group, Rennes are 1-0 up at home to Lazio.
For most of us, Richie, Christmas very much a time of celebration, a time of joyful light and noise, but for people with autism it can be a nightmare of sensory overload. The hectic sights, colours, sounds and smells of Christmas can provide serious challenges for those with autism. This year at Off the Ball, we are trying to get people and businesses around the country to be more aware and to help provide safe spaces for people with autism. The campaign is called All is Calm. It encourages people to slow their celebrations down for just 1 hour, turn down the music, dim the lights, create a calmer, more autism-friendly environment. You can have your own #AllIsCalm coffee morning that both helps raise funds for As I Am and provides a much-needed moment of calm during the holiday season. You can sign up at asiam.ie, that is asiam.ie, and they'll provide a resource pack. All you really need, though, is a quiet room with dim lights, low music and volunteers for your own coffee morning.
Elsewhere in the Europa League this evening, Rangers will win Group G with victory at home to Young Boys, while Manchester United will progress to the last 32 as Group L winners with just a point at home to Alkmaar. Youthful hue to the United side tonight. Sergio Romero starts in goal. Back four of Ashley Young, Axel Twanzebe, Harry Maguire and Brandon Williams. James Garner and Nemanja Maric are in midfield. In front of them it's Andreas Pereira, Juan Mata and Mason Greenwood with Anthony Martial up front. Elsewhere it's a much changed Wolves side. Matt Doherty's not involved. That entertains Besiktas in Group K.
Do they have any sort of tradition in Dublin football as to how they announce their new manager? Is there white smoke above Parnell Park? Does Jim McConnelly come out onto the steps and read some sort of proclamation?
Could well happen that way.
It'd be good.
An impromptu parade down O'Connell Street.
On social media.
Somebody comes out and reads a big speech in the GPO.
Turn on the Christmas lights.
Bit late. Turn them off and turn them on again.
Side.
They have them on the north side as well, Nathan. Yes.
Well done.
Don't be a snob. No one likes a snob, especially one from Mayo.
Oof.
It's unbecoming.
You the ultimate hipster, except when it comes to north side criticism, Richie.
What's that mean? What does that even mean?
Just saying, Richie.
What does that even mean?
What have you got next?
Dublin, as you mentioned, expected to announce Jim Gavin's successor as senior football manager tonight. Desi Farrell and Declan Darcy are among those in the running. Gavin stepped down at the end of last month, as we know, after 7 years at the helm. Still no white smoke, still no proclamation, still no impromptu march down O'Connell Street to announce that one.
Still no Shane Hannon even having turned up. It could have all happened.
I do you know what's happened there? He stopped in Hillbillies in Marino, and he's got himself some chicken.
He has arrived at part. Where's Hillbillies?
It's like just in Marino March there. It's then that stretchy shot. It's
in Dublin.
That's the name of it.
Mart.
That's the name of it.
Where people sell cattle on a Tuesday.
I'm trying to think, it's more Fairview end. But anyway, Hillbillies. Other chicken outlets are available.
Can you confirm that this is a live working mart where people sell cattle on a Tuesday?
It's not.
Okay. Like once upon a time, was it?
Probably.
And what is Hillbillies?
It's chicken gaff. Does like fried chicken.
Like fried chicken?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good as well.
On Fairview Park there?
Yeah, just in front of it.
Okay. Worth checking out?
Absolutely.
Is it a Kenny Cunningham favourite?
Yeah, I think actually Kenny has been to Hillbillies once upon a time. Right. Yeah. They do have other outlets around the country.
Oh, yeah?
As far as I'm aware,
I haven't seen it. I'm only aware.
If they want to send in some...
Is it just fried chicken?
I'm sure you can get
one
other
of the
bits
burger?
and bobs. You can
garlic cheese chips? Supermax special?
Oh, God, I'm hungry.
I'm just saying.
Was the point of this Newsround to make me starve, or...?
What else we got? Roscommon GA.
Oh, they're in the money,
Boom
man.
is back, baby.
They're getting chicken burgers galore tonight. Roscommon have reported a budget surplus for 2019 of €1.2 million. It's thanks in the main to an €840,000 increase in monies raised by their Club Rossi fundraising arm. Roscommon's figures are in stark contrast to the worrying figures reported by both Galway and Cork in recent days. Matt Faddies and Kieran Treadwell have been drafted into the Ulster side for tomorrow's Heineken Champions Cup trip to Harlequins. They replace Craig Gilroy and Alan O'Connor, who'll both be among the replacements at the Twickenham Stoop. Ulster sit top of Pool 3 with 3 wins from 3, but have yet to take a bonus point from any of those victories.
Double header of live and exclusive Heineken Champions Cup action. Saturday is off the ball. Gloucester against Connacht from 12:45, and then it is Saracens against Munster from 3 o'clock.
Dundalk, meanwhile, speaking of money, have announced losses of €676,000 for the year to November 2018. This is more, of course, than Limerick found themselves in arrears when they entered examinership. This came despite the club earning €500,000 from the Europa League progress in the year. Accounts show the club, though, still has cash in hand of €2.05 million. Big losses as well for the others in the top 4 as well, both Cork and Shamrock Rovers and Waterford all losing money that year too. Dundalk, meanwhile, have signed Darragh Leahy today from Bohemians. The Republic of Ireland under-21 defender played for 2 seasons at Dalymount following his return from Coventry. Leahy's Dundalk's 3rd signing of the close season following the arrivals of both Greg Sloggett and Will Patching.
Liverpool didn't sign a player during the summer, but...
They did, yeah. Young Harvey Elliott and Sepp Vandenberg. Both of whom played senior football.
Had they agreed to sign him previously?
No. They both came out of the blue. Yeah, they're both low-key, young arrivals in the summer.
Well, Harvey Elliott was the youngest player to play in the Premier League.
Yeah, 16 years of age.
Yeah, sicking you. But Takumi Minamino is on his way to Anfield, it seems.
Minamino. Yeah. Minamino. I've checked this a couple of times online today. These are the kind of things I check, Nathan, you don't. Red Bull Salzburg have confirmed they're in talks to sign the Japanese forward. The Austrian club's sporting director, Christoph Freund, says it's an honour when clubs are interested in their players. The likes of Borussia Mönchengladbach and AC Milan have also been sniffing around the Japanese international, who has a release clause of €8.5 million and scored at Anfield in the Champions League this season.
After all the drama last night of the final last 16 tie ending all square and Damien Delaney having to cast a casting vote and knocking out Stephen Cluxton, we've reached the quarter-final stage in our vote for off-the-ball sporting moment of the decade. Most memorable moment of the decade, John Paul, to put it correctly. Today, it is Shane Long's goal against Germany up against the O'Donovan brothers' Olympic silver medal. You can vote right now on our Twitter page, @OffTheBall. It's the pinned tweet right at the top, so you can't miss it. And we'll reveal today's winner later on in the show. Voting open until 8:30. We're going to go quickly to Parnell Park. Shane Hannon is there. The Monaghan man has arrived. Did you stop at Hillbillies?
You know what? I made it, Nathan. You were all doubting me on the radio there not long ago, but I made it, along with about probably 200 other or so Dublin members of this Dublin County Board. It just started. We've had the national anthem, and I'm told that.
Wait, hold on.
Hold up.
They play the anthem at the start of the meeting.
No, it took a while. We all had to stand for the national anthem, and there was a long pause of maybe 30, 40 seconds, a few laughs, and it turned into what was almost a minute's silence, perhaps a minute's silence for Jim Gavin's departure. But then the CD came on and we all stood for the national anthem. Yeah, that's what happened. It was a bit odd, but I'm not going to doubt Dublin GA and their ways. Who can doubt them at this moment?
Well,
in time?
listen, maybe we all need to learn from that. So what you're telling us is no news so far.
No news, but I would imagine by 8 o'clock possibly we will have the answer. Declan Darcy and Desi Farrell, of course, the two names that are being touted. But
Are any of them there?
there's been no. I haven't seen either of the two lads, to be fair. And I was told by Sean Shanley, the Dublin County Board Chairman, last night that neither, the new manager will not be present this evening. It'll just be a matter of ratifying backroom team. Who knows if the backroom team will be ratified as well this evening? But it looks like it's just going to be a matter of. I mean, when I'm looking at the address and the minutes and the plan for the evening, it's quite a long list: adoption of standing orders, minutes, auditors' reports, secretaries' reports, and of course the chairman's address. So it could take quite some time, but I'm told the managerial appointment will be quite early in tonight's proceedings. It's what everyone's here for, let's be honest.
All right, good stuff. We'll be back to you across the evening. Shane, Richie, thank you as always. Quick break and then we're back. Will Greenwood in conversation with Joe Malloy and Brian O'Driscoll at last night's Heineken Rugby Club Roadshow.
Off the Ball on Newstalk.
On Alive and Kicking this weekend. Did you know that iron deficiency can have a serious effect on your heart? I'm going to be meeting a cardiologist to find out more. And the most Googled food item of 2019 were vegan recipes. And I'm going to be finding out how you can make your Christmas dinner a little more plant-based.
Alive and Kicking with Claire McKenna.
This Sunday from 9 a.m.
on Newstalk.
Nissan is launching their brand new way to drive.